Well, we had a really great night this year. We had lots of kids, got lots of compliments. For next year, I'm thinking of setting up a camera outside to capture reaction and comments as people walk up to the porch. Because when you're waiting inside the house for them to ring the doorbell, it's hard to hear what's being said. Sometimes I could hear, lots of great oohs and ahs, but I want to hear all the details, all the juicy stuff. The families just loved it so much. They would stop to take in all the details, and the parents would just pose their kids, even though the kids want to move on to the next house. A lot of them. But the parents are like, "Yeah, we're not done taking photos." For me, adding new props every year increases my enjoyment of this display as well. And I decided that I would finally start retiring my old tombstones. They're a minimum of 25 years old, and they've served me well, but they're made of cardboard, and though I finally sealed them against the weather, they really are beginning to feel the effects of all the Oregon rain we get. So this year I made a dozen new gravestones from foam that I got from a local recycling center. And watching videos on YouTube, love it, gave me some insight and confidence to do the project. And if you haven't made your own gravestones, I highly recommend it. It's not that difficult to make them look realistic, and the payoff when they're out in the display is awesome. I love the ones I did, and I can't wait to make even more. With all the new gravestones this year, I decided to buy some LED mini spots that I got through the Fright Props catalog. I decided I wanted to illuminate the stones individually, mainly because I've got a small space, I got a small yard, and I just crowded so many into there that individual lighting was a better way to go than just using a floodlight, because that just wouldn't hit everything. I did use one LED blue floodlight to overwash the entire scene. The result was great. I was really pleased with it. I thought it looked kind of spooky, and everything still stood out. A few tweaks to my Axworthy flying ghost setup had it flying smoothly all night. The original ghost I made received a lot of wear and tear over the years, so I found a new one at Michael's craft store that replaced it just fine. It's a solid white one, so it's much more visible, and it got a lot more attention. People really enjoyed it. You could see it wherever it was in the yard flying around. They would just hang out and watch it just go round and around. A handful of the kids too. There's just some kids didn't like it flying overhead and ran. Some of them just kind of they wanted to stay there for 5-10 minutes. They never got tired. So I thought to myself, what's a graveyard without a coffin? So I had to make this little addition, but it had a big impact on the entire scene. We called her our darling, and she was unearthed and broken into, but left exposed in this lonely cemetery to meet all those brave enough to approach. First you catch a glimpse of her from the sidewalk, and then see her in full gory as you come up the steps. I got a flickering light inside the coffin, and that was set to catch attention and make it easier to make eye contact with the dead. You see, she always keeps one eye open in greeting. This project came together really well. I was quite surprised, quite pleased with it. It's just made from foam board insulation that was detailed and texturized, again using a hot wire blade and then using a painter's wire brush, a scraping wire brush, just to give it kind of some wood texture lines. And then the whole thing was painted black, and then got a gray dry brush technique over the top of it. And then after that, of course, the white highlighting again. This just really helps make the edges stand out, just gives it some definition, makes things kind of pop better. The baby doll was corpsed using great stuff, and then it had some string threads applied to it before being coated and dripped with polyurethane wood stain, and that gave it that really nice brown kind of rotting corpsey look. It looked great day or night.